Before they began bantering about erasing history versus righting historical wrongs, Grace, their mother, would hold up her hand and say, "Enough." By the time they loaded the car for these trips, Grace had made dozens of decisions. She sought a truce, even if it wouldn't hold. The trailer's living room and kitchen combination reeked of rancid catfish and bitter beer. The 2 miniature bedrooms housed 4 sets of built-in bunk beds with narrow strips of peeling, dingy vinyl between the lofts. The Fehlers ran to camp most summer weekends and squeezed in a few fall trips before the chill arrived and the leaves crisped in the Missouri Valley. At camp, the sisters learned to bait hooks, pull fish traps from the muck, and dig burrs out of their bare feet. They knew which bunks were theirs because they'd carved their names in the frames as a tradition on their 5th birthdays. On their annual inaugural trip, as spring rounded the corner to summer, Grace cut notches in the wooden stairs to measure her daughter's growth. She added their initials and the date while the sisters raced ahead, peeling off Catholic school uniforms and pulling on mismatched swimsuit pieces from a communal wicker basket before jumping off the dock into the cool relief of the muddy water. The family dog chased them, cautioning their courage with a bark and cheering on their unleashed animal freedom. The promise of the camp brought hope. It lifted the family's spirits to pile in the car after the last day of school and travel toward the water. Each trip, the Fehler family wished they would roast marshmallows for s'mores and finally catch fireflies without fighting over which sister had more. They would leave the family pest control business behind and not talk about how to cover the quarterly tax bill or whether they should pay for their employees' cell phones. But first, they had to drive the 46 miles from Camp Girardeau, Missouri, to Cairo, Illinois, snaking the Mississippi River's gritty coast to put in the boat. On their way, they had to quote their favorite scenes from Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, when Huck and Jim float past Cairo in the fog and miss their transfer to the Ohio River and Jim's independence. Tammy would pull out the dog-eared paperback tucked in the back of the driver's seat. Jim said it made him all over trembly and feverish to be so close to freedom. Kate took over. "Well, I can tell you it made me all over trembly and feverish, too, to hear him, because I begun to get it through my head that he was most free. And who was to blame for it? Why, me." Then Jules would look out the window at the water and say, "Maybe we went by Cairo in the fog that night." Maggie didn't want to finish with the sadness of the chapter, so she chose a different Huck line. "Jim said that bees won't sting idiots, but I didn't believe that because I tried them lots of times myself and they wouldn't sting me." And they all giggled because bug girls knew how to handle bees. They also knew the hive survival mattered more than any puncture. Like Huck, the girls would sacrifice to save each other. Like Huck, they loved their pap, even when he disappointed them. Each trip, Robbie insisted they coordinate bathroom breaks for the drive, but they had to stop at least twice. Even as they grew from children to teens to young adults, their trips were the same. Maggie would say they should have checked the road conditions. Jules got carsick. Someone else would say planning took away from the adventure, probably Tammy. Kate didn't say much. She was lost in her own thoughts and passed around their mom's latest creation of homemade granola bars. Their brindle pit bull, Nacho, would whine from the back seat and lick their hands for crumbs. Robbie promised that if they could all hold it, they would be cooking hot dogs over a fire in time for supper, but they usually settled for grilled cheese sandwiches on the dock as the sun set. Nacho ran after the bunnies in the bushes, hoping to find his own dinner, relieved to be released from the car. Who knew?